Hi everyone, Nick and Sarah here. Just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to listen. This podcast, this is our very first foray into anything like this, recording ourselves, editing, anything. So with that, there's some growing pains.
Please bear with us.
Yes, please bear with us. We are striving to get better as we go along. The first episode, while I think the content is great, there was some issues with our setup.
Yeah, we had a few technical difficulties. Very interesting technical difficulties.
Yeah,
I was not expecting those.
The camera kept going for a ride because we didn't have
the proper setup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so...
we fixed as much as we could. We did edit out a few things, left a few things in that maybe we should have edited out, but I think adds to the...
I think it adds to our whole experience of navigating our first podcast.
Yeah, and it just kind of shows who we are as people, so...
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoy it and give us a follow.
Yeah. Welcome to our podcast. I'm Nick.
I'm Mitch.
Sarah.
And we're part of Wrong Side of the River Jeeps. I'll let Sarah introduce Wrong Side of the River Jeeps.
We're a very small Jeep group, and we do a lot of focus runs of, staying small, really teaching our members how to wheel safely and properly and respect the whole, tread lightly. We do a lot of charity work, and we're doing a lot of branching out this year. We're creating our own trail index. We're doing YouTubes. We're doing podcasts now, which is kind of exciting.
It's a big day, yeah.
So this is our first one, and obviously we're excited and nervous. I'm not sure if you could tell. Not sure if you could tell. Getting a little newbie vibe going on.
Yeah.
So.
Now we'll get it figured out.
We know wheeling.
We know wheeling, yeah.
Podcast.
We know wheeling, we know gears. We know, we know a lot of mechanical shit. But yeah, this whole technology thing is, we're working through it.
Yes.
We know wheeling together.
As long as we don't have trail guide.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh, we don't do trail guides here.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we decided to do a podcast because we get together fairly often. We're always talking about cool stuff, and thought maybe other people would want to hear about the cool stuff that we talk about.
Absolutely.
And in all fairness, winter time. Oh my god.
Yeah. What else? What else are you gonna do in the wintertime?
Well, wintertime in Canada. I mean, what else is there to do?
Yeah.
Enjoy adult beverages and bench races.
Yeah.
There's always adult beverages around our house.
So, all right. So, hosts introduce themselves. I'll go first. My name is Nick. Moved to Lindsay about 10 years ago or so. Grew up in Northern Ontario. Basically been off-roading in some form or another since I was old enough to ride on my dad's knee on the four-wheeler, on the tractor. Grew up on a farm. Always had ATVs growing up. Once I got a little older so that I could have my own vehicles, it was always a four-wheel drive in some form or another. Not always road safe, so it's a good thing I grew up on a farm and had lots of acres.
Field car, daily driver, same.
Yeah. The wheeling I grew up doing was a lot more mud and rock, heavy emphasis on the mud part.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
we've been back to the old stomping grounds.
Yeah, so because the area I grew up in, because of glacial action, there's a lot of swamps. So I grew up in a lot of silty swamp wheeling and learning how to get stuck and not always successfully getting unstuck.
Hardy wheeling.
He's learned how to clean really well.
Yes.
Oh god, that mud up there is ridiculous.
It's
sticky.
It's awful, and
then it gets in places that
especially when you take Dad's four-wheeler out, and then he doesn't know that you took it out, so you got to clean it before he sees it.
Oh god.
I feel like you might have got busted still.
Oh, I did every time.
I feel it's kind of hard to miss, Yeah. It's kind of one of those things you can't really hide that well.
You think as a kid you're so smart, and then you grow up and become a parent, you're like, I know what you
do. Why is there all this mud on the lawn? At least he cleaned it.
Yeah.
Dad. Cleaned it, yep.
Yeah.
No? You want to introduce yourself there?
Yeah, so my name's Mitch. I'm a true Linzoid, been here my whole life. My parents had a couple acres, so when it came to learning the ropes, if you will, that was a field car thing. So being a bit of a gearhead, some of my friends used to offer for me to pick up their junk. So the first thing you would do would bring home this car, if it ran, if it didn't run, whatever, and play with it in the backyard. So we joke about four-door JKs getting high centered. Well, that was my mantra growing up, was high centering, two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, like Cavaliers and Ghoulies and Goose. Like, it was bad.
Blazers. There was a Blazer.
That was...
Ooh, what kind of Blazer? Like a K5? Or?
Oh, like no, one of last
Or
year.
a S10 Blazer?
Like round body, last of the S10s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's still cool. 4.3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 4.3 in it.
4.3, 700.
I don't know. Maybe. It was a two-door, and he was braver than we were
He launched it a few times.
going off camber, like side hilling.
I thought
you've already driving a Blazer, so you might as well go for it.
I thought we were gonna roll. I thought we were gonna roll.
And the thing with him was like, he hadn't scared himself yet.
Yeah.
So you and I were scared. Like, I was just like, buddy, like, we've been close. Like, this is too far.
Yeah. So I actually a friend of mine from years back, he had an S10 Blazer, the old square body style.
Okay.
With a 350 Chev van engine that was converted back from propane.
Oh, okay.
In it, and a transmission that was built in the transmission shop in Newmarket somewhere. Lifted, I think, 6 inches.
Yeah.
On 35s, and the thing was tippy.
I bet it was.
There was no sway bars to be had.
Sway bars are over.
Yeah.
Sway bars are over.
Solid front axle swap too. I forgot to mention solid front axle swap.
Good people.
Blazer?
Yeah. On an S10 Blazer.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, like that's up there. Like,
Oh, that thing was sweet. Like it was awesome. My 2 years I spent in Barrie for college. That's what we did. We went around subdivisions and played around in his Blazer. I tried to follow him with my Trans Am, but
when you were
not the same.
no, not the same.
And there's you in college playing around with the Cherokee.
That's where it all kind of began. Was Mom's Cherokee in high school, and then just realizing that it's surprisingly good.
Yeah.
And then
Go figure.
And then again, my northern buddy, my first northern buddy, he had the Cherokee, and that was kind of where it all began. So I gotta give him credit. Now, solid axle swap though. Let's just touch back on that. Like when you and I, we were at that Just Jeeps there, and the first time we saw a Liberty solid axle swap.
Yep.
And that was all Cherokee driveline.
Oh yeah.
And that, again, you think Liberty, whatever. That's eye catching. You know, if you take one of those Jeeps and you make it better, then good for you.
Yeah. Well, at the time, I didn't appreciate just how fucking cool that thing was. That friggin' cool. Can we swear?
I think we could swear. I mean, you know me, I swear
Maybe
like
we
a trucker,
just-
so
yeah.
I feel it's just best if we just let it happen.
It's just gonna happen. But no, I didn't understand how cool it really was. I wish I knew what axle that came out of. I wish I knew more details about his transmission that he got built. I wish I knew more about the process of...
Who was this guy?
Mike Scalone. He was in my... I think he commented on a Facebook post of mine. He lives down in down in Windsor now.
Oh, okay.
But
that's a little way from north.
Yeah, no. He lived in Barrie, because I lived in Barrie for a couple of years.
Back with the show.
Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah. So I don't really know much else to say, but I guess really it all came together with my second Cherokee. So the first one, manual, it was an 87, so first gen, 4-liter. And
Was that the 4 headlights? The 4 headlights?
that's the Wagoneer.
Oh, it wasn't the wagon. I thought you had a Wagoneer.
So the Wagoneer was a parts one.
Oh, okay.
And that engine is still up for grabs. And that axle went to Northern Jake.
So what engine's in that Wagoneer?
No, we're talking 4-liter.
Oh,
Oh, just
Like
it's
baby
4-liter.
Wagoneers. Yeah.
okay. I was thinking like an old 360.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool. I don't have anything for it, but that's pretty cool. An original AMC 360.
Little Holly fuel injection, some headers.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So anyhow, so that one ended up being a bit of a rot box and stuff. So next step was
Most things in
to...
northern Canada.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Like the you say unibody, okay, unibody's fine, you know, in Arizona, Texas.
Yeah. Ontario, it's...
Unterrible.
It's the Rust Belt.
unterrible.
We're in the
Unrustable,
Rust
yeah.
Belt.
Yeah, Rust Belt. Stop blowing holes in my ship and all that.
Oh yeah, like the rust hole in my car was leaching salt today.
Oh,
I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is awful.
yeah. Oh, I just love floor mats in the wintertime. The salt crystals building up in it from the slush on your boots.
Geometry inside.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how it's supposed to work, but yeah, it does happen to work like that, doesn't it?
So then, of course, so we said Northern Jake, you know, traveling back and forth from college and back or whatever. There was the one that I have now, the 91 on the side of the road. Of course, it needed floors. It needed, you know, 8 1/4 was junk, like, you know, all these great things. The clutch didn't work. So naturally, me, that was what was the entry point for me. So we pulled it apart. Parents had the pit there and pulled the trans out, only to find out that the slave cylinder was fine. It was actually the master. So that was that was a bit of a learning curve.
That's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. So whatever, put it all back together, all fresh parts,
I
right?
was just saying, you gotta do fresh parts if you're at that point.
No money, right? So you put it all
Yeah,
together.
exactly.
And so we're putting this together. We've already decided that we're going to do an 8.8 in it.
Yeah.
And okay, so where do you get an 8.8? Okay, the wrecking yard, naturally, right? Drum brake, 8.8, put the locker in, learn how to set up gears. And then next thing you know, you say to yourself, hey, like, if this is good, what about a doubler? You know, this is back in the days of the Pirate 4x4. So Dad's online. He's like, oh, there's this thing about doublers. You should check this out. And I forget who it was. There was a couple different manufacturers at the time. And so we jump onto this doubler idea, and then it all comes together. Where it's, okay, you got to have this. The next thing you know, I'm learning how to rebuild a Dana 300. We had to find out who can weld some aluminum for us. So we could, like, you could, you know, chop up and bastardize the 231. And then I'm figuring out how to flip this thing. And drive shafts out of, like, Broncos. And anyhow, so that's kind of where that all came to be. So one of the stories is, it all came together with the 91 Cherokee that I still own. And I would say built in 06. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I traced it back to was 06.
Because we have pictures that say 04. But I think that's on like the old film days.
Oh yeah, where you didn't quite set the time right.
Yeah, if you
when
didn't set the time right,
batteries
yeah,
for the
no.
flash.
So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But
I'm not nearly as interesting as the two of you. I didn't have like acreage and farms or like back things or anything like that. I grew up close to the city, and all over the city, and so I wouldn't say I didn't.
What
have
cities?
I was gonna say like
what
Like
cities?
the cities. So we're talking LA,
So
New York.
no. I grew up in Toronto.
In Toronto.
I grew up out, in downtown Toronto. Then I moved out to the suburbs for a little bit. We're kind of on this thing where we pretty much moved every 9 months, so there's a lot of houses and cities I've lived in. But yeah, I'd say most of Toronto and going into Pickering and stuff like that was probably the longest. And then we moved up here closer to Lindsay, and finally we had a little bit of acreage. I don't even think we had, God, I don't think we had half an acre. But we finally had a driveway, and that's when, so my family is large into wheeling, so my cousins actually run their own Jeep group, an off-road group, down in the London, Mississauga area. And then from there, my dad kind of got the bug, and he brought home a Cherokee. I don't even know, it was a 93, the first Cherokee that came home. It was green. My brother and him built it. I've been a gearhead all my life. I really loved being in there, but obviously, you know, when you have a brother, he takes the show of it. And so I kind of stood back and let my brother do it, and then my dad bought a buggy off of your dad, oddly enough.
Was this before or after you guys?
This was before him and I were. Fun fact: him and I are very much married.
Mitch.
That's how.
Well, not
Yeah, we're working on it.
married.
Mitch has commitment issues.
In the eyes of the law, we're married.
Yeah, you're fucked either way.
Either way, it's just not going to involve for you. But yeah, we had the buggy. I'm trying to think. That's an 87.
Yeah, it's not an HO. It's just before.
Yeah, it's an 87. It had a cage on it and everything like that. So that became my dad's rig. And then my brother started getting more involved with that and kind of got out of wheeling. So I was finally able to sit behind the driver's seat of the 93 Cherokee. That may have been when I started driving it was when I met you. Because that was Rocktoberfest.
Yeah, that was on one of those paid events.
Yeah, we went on a paid event, and that's where I met you. Actually, the paid event ran by my cousins.
Yeah. With all the trail guides.
With all the
With
trail
all the
guides.
Did you break?
I did. So more than once. This is like this. Yeah,
Paid events, people. Paid events.
Paid events. Yeah,
Hey, we used the winch.
Hey.
Because it was broken.
We used a lot. There was a lot of issues with her because I'm trying to think. So the fuel tank was gone in it. It actually a very illegal conversation. So the fuel tank was gone in it. So we actually pulled it, and we actually had a boat canister in the back of the Cherokee. So we had to constantly prime it.
Can't say I've
And
never
fill
done
it.
that.
Yep. And then we went from there, and Mitch was taking a little while to get up a hill, and I told him to hit it.
Because I had low range.
Yep, because I told him to hit it, pussy, because he kept bitching out to try and, like, pop up one and bump it. Sorry, just needed to bump
Just
it.
needed to bump it.
Just needed to bump it, and he wasn't.
Just sorry to pause here, but just so everybody knows, he still hasn't outgrown that.
No, he's still.
It's abuse here.
It's honest. It's a collective criticism.
It's true.
So.
I still have a day of 30. Like, let's just, like, pump the brakes on the bump.
Okay, all right, but
so,
who drove out?
oh, he did, and I rode in his Jeep.
Yeah, so there we go.
And I did fall in love.
There's the balance.
Nope, we.
And then I hit it.
So, and then we had. Fuck off. Poor Nick. We did have. So, I grenaded the front drive shaft.
Ripped the steering box out of the.
No, that was
frame.
going out. So, going out, I ripped the steering box out. So, I went out in two-wheel drive, ripped the steering box off the frame. Going further out, I actually reversed a leaf and blew the leaf, clean out the back, and I sat the Jeep on the tire, and that's where she sat for the rest of the night. And we ditched her in the forest.
And it was the yoke that exploded, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
On the 35.
Like, I did it good.
Surprisingly, it wasn't the pinion or the axle shaft, Gary.
I've seen that happen before. The yoke explodes.
No,
Too much people. Oh, yeah.
No, that was an axle.
Oh, that's right.
It was an axle, yeah. So, that was kind of like my first step into wheeling, and that was, 12 years ago now? So, then I kind of...
2011, 2012?
Yep, started getting into it. And then...
Wow, so you guys were just together whenever we met. Or whenever I moved down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and
Infinity
then...
days.
Yeah.
And then from there, I got into a YJ. I got into a 90 YJ. We took the engine out of another Cherokee that we had and swapped it into the YJ. Took out the 4.2, put in...
A manual Cherokee, right?
Yeah, it was a manual Cherokee. We put that all into the YJ because the 4.2 we couldn't keep it running well enough. We were having issues with carbs. We just went straight full fuel injection. My brother took it out, and we had 6x6s, this wall, and it was stepped up. So my brother decided to go through. But the issue is in between the steps, when every single time there was a step, there was like an offshoot of it. So my brother sat there with the YJ and decided to go up it. And in the process, he dropped a tire in and he hammered on it. And he twisted the drive shaft.
Oh.
Like nothing. And
like a Duramax aluminum.
yeah, and snapped it to pieces. It was just a mess. So he was in shop class, coincidentally, actually, with Mitch's dad. So at home, he decided to weld a drive shaft together, and he did. We put it back in the YJ. I was wheeling it that summer.
Did you drive it down the highway with a welded homemade drive shaft?
Yes, I have.
How was that?
My biggest issue was I didn't have really good lights. I did this like at dusk.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any headlights.
Well, no, it's really
right, exactly. So I didn't have headlights. I had a little bit of a wiring problem. We were still trying to sort that out. I was actually driving it from my house to Mitch's house.
Mm.
So doing 80 was a bit sketchy. Plus I was on 36 IROCs, which were like riding on marshmallows.
Yeah.
So it wasn't bad for the drive shaft, but like the steering and like
everything-
floatability was a little bit intense.
You didn't notice the driveline vibration over everything else.
Oh god, no, you can notice any fucking vibration. No, god, no.
Gotcha.
Air down, those tires are incredible.
Oh god, those were amazing. I
you
love
know
those
the
tires.
like golf ball, sorry, not the golf ball, rather the softball size boulders, like stones
Yeah.
that are on.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't even feel those.
No,
because you would.
No.
Would you even air up? I don't even know.
I didn't air down. I never aired down.
15s?
PSI.
Yeah, they would have been 15s. I think
Were
they
they?
were stock
On a
ones.
YJ, yeah, typically you're at 15s.
They had a great
in that
look.
era, right?
Yeah, well, there's the picture there. Picture there.
It's just,
And
it's just
then-
a little,
well,
you can't really
can't
see.
see.
I might have buried her.
For
in
somebody
that photo.
who doesn't like mud, that's an awful
Yeah,
lot
that
of mud.
was so. Going back to that whole drive shaft thing, when my brother welded the drive shaft, it wasn't phased properly.
Mm.
So I was really good at spitting my drive shaft out because I used to love snapping U-joints because my pinion angle was
Horrible.
Well, as soon as you would see the torque, it would just...
I would just snap it open.
Yeah.
So
Was it welded? Was the diff welded?
we welded it. You and I welded it.
Really?
We welded the front end.
Oh, the front.
Yeah.
To keep the possibly lock
Yep,
in place
to keep the posi lock in place because we zip tied it. Remember?
on the trail. After, because I think when you were wheeling there on the concession...
On that one, yeah. I
Well,
had to go swimming.
so
to my
we're
drive
gonna
shaft.
have to, in the YouTube, we're gonna have to put a picture of that.
Oh,
photo
absolutely.
that we
I will
keep
totally
pointing to.
include that photo.
That's gonna be cut in.
Absolutely. We gotta make sure that's in there.
Because you were wheeling that day, if I'm not mistaken, in two-wheel drive. And it
Yeah,
wasn't
we didn't realize it was in two-wheel drive.
until you spit the drive shaft, and it was a freaking no-go scenario.
The funny thing about that photo is I actually have the other photo because that's a very deep mud hole that I'm sitting in right there in that photo. And as you can see, we're trying to get out. My dad's trying to get down and trying to hook the strap.
Yeah. You in a white shirt in the mud.
Yep, that's how we rolled. Mitch was actually
With my dad.
with his dad standing at the edge of the water with this look of, oh fuck, what the hell have I gotten myself into? Why am I here?
The disapproving babysitter.
Oh, yeah, you could just tell of like, I'm not going swimming for this chick. This is not fucking worth it. I felt like there was a lot of emotions coming out of you, and I love that photo of the flip around. And yeah, in the end, we tossed the strap and you pulled us
I
out.
was gonna say, I think we pulled out backwards that way,
Yeah,
and then we ended up going a different direction.
What trail is that?
that's concession.
That's concession.
Yeah, where you should have had a boat.
Yeah.
That trail is ridiculous. I don't
And it's only gotten deeper, right? Over
Oh,
the years.
absolutely.
Well, I'm pretty sure that is like a love affair for quads, side by side. So the guys just keep, washing it down.
Yeah, put your rain suit on and hit it.
Yeah.
Well, exactly, yeah. So
So I don't know. We got to do it. Maybe if we have a dry August, maybe.
no, I don't want to do
I know you don't want to, but
it.
is that was one of the first ones we did. The year before with the Cherokee, right?
Yeah, that was the first one we went in, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes in. We were just fucking splashing through puddles every 5
I almost
seconds.
had nervous poops because I'm like, I just got this thing back together, and we're gonna take this thing as the SS Minnow. Like, get out of here! Like,
Yeah, and then we decided to go up to Forest. And
of course we had
Maiden.
red and black sheep with us, so that guy's just
Yeah.
full
Just
wide
giving
open.
her.
Yeah.
He was in heaven, we weren't.
Rap,
Yeah.
rap, rap.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I'm not into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyhow, so when you were not waddling, wading through the puddle, and you're like, hey, I'm looking for the drive shaft.
Oh yeah, I was literally walking bare feet, like rolled up my pants with a stick, and I'm like running my feet trying to find the drive shaft in the puddle.
Because in all fairness, it was like 2 tall cans long.
Oh,
Yeah,
barely
no, they're,
two.
yeah, they're
It was.
not that
I was
long.
looking for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Like I picked it up and I'm like, well, this can't all be it. It has to be more.
Must be a 2-piece drive
That's what I was
shaft.
thinking. I'm like, it has to be a 2-piece drive shaft. This can't
No,
be.
those
Okay.
YJs, they're
I was gonna say,
short.
welcome to the Wrangler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, I just learned this the other day that the only reason they went away from the CJ5 to the 7 and gained 5-6 inches of door opening and vehicle length was to have the option of an automatic.
Huh.
And Cheryl's tricks there.
Yeah.
That automatic is not overly long.
No, it's
But
not.
when you compare that to a 3-speed like T90 or whatever the heck they were, that they were just like the essence of perfection.
Yeah.
Other than the gearing is just ridiculous.
Modern transfer case is bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Sarah and I were watching Planetaries the other day on how Planetaries work.
Oh, yeah?
Before we were rudely interrupted. But like the idea of having this tiny concept of all this, like, oh man, it's witchcraft. It really is.
It truly is.
But yeah, anyhow, so
Yeah, that's and then. What,
All
now I
right.
got
So
the-
what do you drive now?
oh,
You
that's
want me to start? You
right.
want me to start?
Yeah,
You want me to
yeah,
tell you what I drive
yeah,
now?
might as well.
I
You're-
drive
You're on a roll.
I drive a 2011 JK. She's currently sitting on a Super Duty front end, a Super Duty 60, and a 14 volt out of a GM in the rear. 40s. I have a Barnes long arm suspension, 4-inch Rubicon Express springs. Oh, a bunch of parts in the basement that need to go in. I have a limited slip in the rear, aux locker in the front. It's Bluetooth currently, but I have to We have to get our shit together and get that sorted.
Well, we're making strides, right?
We're making
I mean,
strides.
I'm happy with you not having it.
Oh, because Nick knows I'm going to kick his ass. He has a thing against 4 doors and his little 2-door, but...
Well, in all fairness, with the open front, because whatever, the aux, it's, Knox, and then like the G80,
the gov lock.
the gov lock,
The gov unlock.
like if you've never experienced it, like,
And then whenever it locks up, it's like, bang!
Oh, yeah, she has quite a fucking opinion to her.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, in all fairness, like when we had the 40s, like when you had the 40s on, and we were driving it in the wintertime, toy open country MTs, that don't exactly love the elements, right?
It's good in snow. They are fantastic in snow.
Horrible in slush.
No, I usually
And
try
ice.
not to. Ice. Oh my god,
Ice,
there's
baby.
no point. There's absolutely no point in even driving.
It's legitimately like remember when we had it and we were driving it with the Durtrax on it, the same Durtrax on it now, 35, 285,
We're on it. The 40s are on right now.
Yeah, they're 295s, aren't they?
285, 75 18s. So it ends up being like a 34.8 or something factory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the only reason I bring it up is because, sorry that I interlude, but your 2-door with the STT Pros, great tire, 3-season.
3-season.
And 3-season was...
Well, I don't even know 3-season. Like, summertime in the rain.
But they're such a good, strong tire.
Oh, they're hard as hell. They don't wear, and they weigh 150 pounds of tire.
Yeah, so
133.
So that does make you want to maybe have an LS swap or a supercharger on the 3.6. But in all fairness, that proved it. That time where we were driving your Jeep, in your Jeep's there, like, and we were cruising, and it's just like, yours was dead nuts, and the 2-door was just dancing. And you're thinking, what are we doing here? We're going for a walk? Like...
Well, it feels like a Jeep. But anyways, we'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. No. The as you probably understood, I don't have a sway bar in the front. I do have a sway bar in the rear, so she can be quite interesting on a windy day. Nick is definitely going to beat me in a race, that's for sure. Especially around corners, you're definitely going to beat me in a race.
Or going up hills.
Yep, the 3.8 is she's hurting, but I mean she has 335,000 kilometers on her.
Yeah.
And they're 200k motors. So every shift is a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping.
But you drive it with love.
I drive with love. I baby the shit out of her because I need her to survive. She's my daily. And
You've put like what, almost 36,000 k on the 1-ton swap.
yep. So I put over 36,000 k on the tons and 40s.
It's not bad.
No, she's not.
Remember, my
bad.
dad's like, "You're gonna do that to a daily driver? What are you, crazy?"
Yes.
But I like it. I love it. I want some.
I
He's
know.
not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a hill just outside of Omimi, and if I don't plan that hill, and if I get cut off in traffic and I get slowed down, I am not reaching the top of the hill.
Low
to the speed
range.
limit. Oh, it's like you turn off the heat, you turn off the radio, and it's like all power, man. Just go. You can do it. Come on, girl, you can do it. So I'm like, let's see if we can maintain 60. It's
But in all
she's not
fairness,
great.
you're driving it like it's got the K on it, right? So
Yeah.
always check the oil, top up the oil. you don't rev the piss out of it.
No, I drive her very gingerly.
So like you're gentle to the engine, you're soft on the transmission, and you have all that behemoth of like 5,500 pounds of like, I'm taking my time.
Yes. Well, I'm hoping that an engine swap is in the future, but I mean, I think at minimum, what I'd like to see is a transmission swap for sure. Definitely, we had a bit of
A malfunction,
a
so
slippage.
maybe.
We'll see how it goes. Who knows?
Everything acts as a question. No, but in all fairness, a manual transmission would change the world.
A manual transmission would change the entire personality of her.
Oh, I see a hill. Perhaps I'll grab 5th and prepare. Or maybe
Oh, no.
even 4th.
As my Jeep's just like, we need 2nd right now. Ah! No, stop it! I don't know. I'm hoping for a diesel swap in the future. I want a 12 valve. You want a 4BT or an R2.8, but yeah.
They're, in all fairness, the 12 valves easier to come by.
Yeah, I think you
Oh!
got
Oh my god!
you got the perfect Jeep for a 12 valve.
Well, see, his argument against me getting a 12 valve in the past.
Oh, I know, because it's too heavy for the.
Well, exactly.
For the
He was going. He's like, your axles are too light. I
Yeah.
mean, you're gonna break the axles, and No, I can't break them.
The you know how we'd always talk about.
Well, you can match the axles with the motor
Oh.
that they came in.
No.
6
Like a
liter
6 liter?
Duramax.
6 liter bomb?
Actually, not a Duramax. 14s, I don't believe, came with a Duramax. This was a van.
Oh, it was a van, so you had 6 liter LS?
No. My dad used to drive a 6-liter LS. You want to know what happened? I drove from Port Perry to my house in Little Britain, and that cost me over $20, and that was when gas was cheap.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you were broke.
And I was broke.
So that might as well have been 2000, yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. It's the sound, eh? Like the LS sound and the power, like.
No, I'm diesel girl all the way. I'm sorry.
Not, yeah, in a daily driver, that makes more sense.
Mm.
If
Yeah.
a motor swap makes sense in a daily driver, but
Yeah, it does.
of course it does.
Of course it does.
You just have to just manage your expectations.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll have a check engine light that may never go away.
Yeah.
Or
It
you
needs
just
ABS.
yeah. Let's not even go there. Like, or perhaps you drive with a scan tool. It's really your call.
All right, I want to hear about your rig because I'm in love. I'm in love with Hero, so I want to hear about your rig.
Well, the tricky thing is you just gotta drive it more.
What?
The Cherokee.
I do drive the Cherokee. When she's hiding in the garage right now, there's salt on the road. We have summer vehicles, and that's one of them. And then she doesn't.
Going back to that whole unibody and salt.
Yeah, we have a few vehicles, Mopars, and Mopars just don't like salt.
No,
So
no, they don't.
we have Chips. She's parked for the winter.
12 valve body swap Cummins.
Yep, and then we have the extra is parked for the winter as well. So I love to drive it more, and I will as soon as summer gets here.
In all fairness,
There was snow on the ground this morning.
I dusted snow off my car.
That's
My boring daily driver. That I hit the key and it goes. But yeah, in all fairness, going back, so where were we? So we're talking about.
I want to hear about the extra.
Okay, so.
Give me some specs on her.
Oh boy. Okay, so at that era they were pretty common for having the central axle disconnect. So this one being a 91 Sport, HO injection, manual transmission as per the slave cylinder and master that they were questionable. It has quite a bit of K on it, 375,000 K, which I'm not sure that goes in miles. That's got to be like 200,000 miles, eh?
I was thinking she must be.
Because I think 180 is 360.
Yeah.
Or sorry, 300? Because 120 is 200? My apologies. My apologies that I don't know freedom units very well right now. Okay, so anyhow, Cherokee HO, 4-door, black, stock front axle. Now that's where things do get a little bit interesting. So when we put this together, Dad was showing me how to set up gears and stuff. So that's pretty cool. The original intention was to go over 33s, and the 33s with like the 0.75 or 0.78 overdrive with the AX15. We decided that 456 gears on a 33-inch tire was going to be excellent. So we went with 33s that my dad had. They were some kind of like weird Firestone 23-degree hard-ass compound, but a soft sidewall. Like it was
old school mutters.
You know it, man.
Yeah,
Just you determine your level of dry rot based on the time they've been sitting around.
Exactly.
And you're young and you're silly and whatever. So, so it went with the 33s, 456 gears, lunchbox locker, which was pretty cool. If you've never actually installed one before, where you got the springs and the pins and like the cross pin, and you got to get it all right. And then, so that was all right. Well, the big thing for me was when we first put it together, it had just like the JKs, it had the unit bearing with the constant drive front axle. And I had this drive shaft made, and the drive shaft was painted. It had washers welded onto it. All's well, right?
Yeah.
So I drive down to the first show and shine. Actually, that show and shine there.
Again, we'll show up that picture.
I gotta show another photo here.
Oh yeah, the finger means nothing, right? And then
If anyone's wondering, I have a wall of Jeep pictures.
Because really, Jeeping is life.
Jeeping is
Now, diesel Jeeping is the afterlife, because that's just dreaming. But anyhow, so we get about, 5 minutes away from the house, running through the gears, things are all right, and it's vibrating so bad, I'm like, Dad, I don't even know what to do, man. So we pulled the shaft, drove to Oshawa, which was about 45 minutes, right? Put the shaft in, And that's when I found out that I got to do something about this. Well, I already invested, my college money in this drive shaft. And so I went online, and Dad's like, hey, I think I've seen this thing that was kind of cool. You can adapt hubs to your Dana 30. And I was like, what? That's crazy. But he's like, well, listen, you got all this money invested. Let's look into it. So it was reed knuckles, and the outside, they go onto the ball joints. And if you had ABS Cherokee shafts, they were a larger U-joint. I can't remember, it's like 297 compared to the 267. It doesn't matter. But anyhow, so then you could take your spud shafts, like the outer shafts from like a Wagoneer or a Ford, and then you use like Wagoneer or GM spindles, and then you put the bearings on from like a Ford, and they had to machine them out, and it was just like when people say, "Hey, man,
easy adapted."
Yeah. You know what? You can do this in a weekend.
Yeah.
No problem. If you ever run into problems on the trail, you can get parts. No. Can you just pull out your book of notes and tell me what year and bearing that is? Because that's what you're going to need.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's why we need to do build sheets on our shit.
But how is it that we just never do? Like when we were building yours, we're like, okay, is the front axle an 06? Sure. Is the 07, is the rear an 07? Sure. Turns out
it wasn't.
No. We buy rotors. The rotor's the wrong size. We get the machines. The guy's like, why are you machining rotors? Listen,
they're brand new. Look, just do it.
If you could just help me, that'd be great.
I forgot to say that I'm re-geared to 538s.
Yes.
With hubs, which are amazing.
Yeah. So anyhow, then that's it. So the front has some unnecessary stuff in the back. Unnecessary stuff, hubs and so on. High steer. The rear axle is actually out of an 91 Explorer rather. It's got a Detroit locker. Learned all about crush sleeve eliminators. 456 gears, the same. Mm-hmm. And then after those tires finally dry rotted to the point where I couldn't use them anymore, 35-inch MTRs.
There might have been a little bit of chirping from my end because I was running 37 IROCs, and I was like, "Oh, you
so
have
cute,
33s.
so cute,
It's so cute."
You can touch on the suspension at all? Because it's kind of neat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that started life.
Continue.
Yeah, so it started life as a Rusty's Off-Road, and it was the first generation Y-Link.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
Oh, anyhow, and
I know she keeps pointing, right?
Yeah,
to
okay, whatever, right?
Finger guns, but only one gun.
Oh my god.
So yeah, the quick draw.
I was hoping you could fix the camera without interrupting him, but here we all are.
That's what post is for.
Elephant.
Yeah.
But anyhow, yeah. So there was
that's one for the blooper reel.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyhow, so I get these arms in. One didn't show up in the mail, so I'm heartbroken. These things are powder coated, they're beautiful. It's like their first generation where there's no real jam nut on the frame side of the cross member, so it just uses the threads to articulate. So it's pretty cool. It does a really great job. However, when we put it all together, it did have a little knock. Yeah. Dad and I come up with a bit of suspension in the rear where it's an add-a-leaf, 2-inch add-a-leaf, and then we put in a Ranger block because we're like Exploder, Ranger, same. I got some local guy to fab up some like 5/8 fine U-bolts that were the right length. Put that all together, and man, did it ever flex! It flexed amazing. But don't put her in the mud or don't put her in the sand because that axle would hop. Like I didn't even know axle wrapped till I had that Cherokee. So. Anyhow, so that friend of mine that had the Cherokee that rotted out in Northern Ontario, he bought a kit back before he found out how rotten his was. Rubicon Express, 5.5-inch. You and I put it together at my parents' house. And, there's some things, right? Like it...
she had some growing pains. She said she got put on the back burner for what?
Oh, countless years.
There was years where I didn't even think it existed.
Like,
I'm pretty sure a lot of people just thought it was like a unicorn, just a mythical creature that didn't exist.
Yeah.
No, and then finally, we're a year into the Jeep group, and I'm like, you gotta bring her home. We gotta do something about it. Because he kept pulling her out periodically and be like, oh, the mice have been in it. Oh, this is so sad. And I'm like, bring it home.
Pull it out for maternity pictures.
I was going to say,
that was essentially it. Yeah, right? Like, we pulled it out. Cheryl saw it, I think, before you saw it.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Right? Because she came out and did our maternity photos when we told the world about our youngest.
Yeah, what a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fall day, right?
It was a fall day, and you were just like washing off the barn dust off of it, so it actually looked half decent because it was gray and.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the picture and like your Jeep too. It looks like such a baby.
Oh my gosh, it's such
full
a baby.
bumper, full fender.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
like-
she looked like a mole crawler. She was very much a mole crawler.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that my Cherokee, which has a low brow, a low hood, a low stance, is not necessarily towering, but
Oh yeah,
it's
like
kinda
it looks
big
like
like-
she looks like a beast.
It's like trying
compared
to
me.
intimidate it.
Right? Exactly. We'll have to cut away to a
The
photo.
JKs will.
Right? Exactly. We'll have to cut away to a
The
photo.
JKs will
show
have
you
to
what,
wait their turn.
Everybody, no, I say everybody needs a hero to come save our JKs. So,
And then now your Jeep is a monster, and my Jeep is not.
no, well, eventually we've talked about doing a 10 swap. We're starting to collect the axles for it, so that'll be
True.
the next one.
Well, and that's the thing. Like when you talk about doing an axle swap, you're like, okay, I'm going to buy a 44 so that I can run front and rear 37s. Well, that's easy. That's fine. Well, the cost of a good quality 44 drop in, it's going to run 30 outers.
Yeah, you can pick up a 14 and a 60 for the same price.
Now, let's not forget about the work.
I was
Well,
just
no,
saying,
I'm not- that's not counting the
there
work.
was
That's not
countless
counting the work.
hours of grinding,
Yeah, but if you're doing-
torching.
If you're doing the work yourself,
Yeah, and it is
it
love,
doesn't cost.
Yeah. And it is a near marriage breakup.
No, it was, that's a whole other different story. It wasn't a marriage breakup, but it was definitely,
Stressful.
there were stressful parts.
Well, you did run the.
Oh, we lost the camera! Elephants!
Man down.
Man down, man down.
It's because Nick touched it.
I did not. Oh, okay.
But really, in all fairness, like you did some grinding, you did some cutting, you did some torch cutting, like we both learned on that, you know. We both learned that we should buy a plasma or one of those big diamond bits that never seems to end.
Oh, I'm just up for that route.
But anyhow, so just lastly, finishing up what we were talking about the Cherokee.
You have to. Can you quickly explain the doubler? Because I'm sure there's a few people who don't know what that is.
There's times where I forget what's all in there. Like never mind, folks. That because it's old technology now, right? Like you just save up your money and buy an Atlas. Call it done.
Yeah.
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 You know, $4,000 USD.
Okay, so you have a valid point. The double now the double now
For some transmissions, that's your only option.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is.
like mine.
I was gonna say, isn't there something odd about?
Yeah, my Mercedes transmission.
You have a
Strong
lot of
as hell.
issues compared to the 3.8s and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Like I ran that lunchbox,
Yeah, and apparently I can't.
and you can't run.
I still like to try it. I'd like to pull it out and throw it in mine, just see what happens.
There you go. We should just bring the axis home. Hey,
I was gonna say
Nick,
it is easier.
we're gonna give you an
Well, that's
axle.
what I mean, because you just pull the carrier out, right, and pull the spiders out and replace
I
them.
think it'd be better just to fucking throw the axles.
the
in
whole
there.
axle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like the whole axles.
Because when we put it in
373s though.
We pull both.
488s, I'd pull your front shaft. Tell the computer it's got 488s.
If you pull the
Okay.
front shaft, it has a locker in it, so it won't make a fucking difference. Because it's the front that's locked, not the rear.
Yeah,
Oh,
So we'd have
because
to
I
pull
got a
from
rear posi.
But the rear wouldn't make that big of a difference for a pull.
sorry, I think I'm off game here. I was gonna say about that rear locker because we bought a locker and we put it in. Remember?
But it was for TJ though.
No.
We have
So
we
do-
have
we
both.
have
I
both.
like
We have
both.
both.
I
We
hate
have
my
both.
money.
I have,
Oh yeah.
I have 2 lockers that are sitting. Well,
Well, I
two
thought
lockers sitting in the
there was
toolbox.
something about it didn't fit in the 44.
One of them didn't fit.
Oh.
So when we were building Sarah's first set of axles at your old house,
Yeah.
which was great by the way.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was buying, and I bought a 2885 LR or whatever the heck it is. I forget what it is, but it's the TJ44, and I think many old generations 34 or sorry 44 rather.
Yeah.
And then finally we got the JK one, and that was fine. But when we put it in, it's you're reading the tolerances and it says okay, it's got to be I forget exactly, but it can't have more than say like 10 thou of the gap. So and that's on the side gears, and then I think the spiders. Anyway, I'm kind of off track here, but I think yours had one side was within spec and one side ended up being closer to like 15 thou, 16 thou. And
we drove around the. I don't even think we made it around the block, and you're like, it's coming out.
because one side you would turn one way, and then that left side, say for instance, was ratcheting. It was fairly like nice and
As
smooth.
it's supposed to.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, it's there, as you know,
Yeah.
but it's not bad.
Yeah.
And then I go around the right and I'm like, bang, 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 bang. Okay, this ain't good. No, like,
Yeah.
the locker's going to go for a crap, and it's going to be uncomfortable as shit.
Yeah, and then there's going to be pieces of floating metal around there.
I just figured, like, yeah, we're gonna like spit a shaft or something like that. Like, it felt like it was just gonna manifest and just get worse and worse and worse and worse.
But at that time, the Everything store had torque lockers, front and rear, for a good price.
Yeah, they weren't.
So they were, and now I think they've gone up significantly, but I fell in love with them because it was like, Aussie technology, and I'm like, oh, Aussie ARB, it's kind of like a auto ARB. No, it's nothing like that.
No.
Torque lockers,
Well, maybe that's a good thing, though,
Yeah.
because we all know how well ARB lockers work.
strong as hell. Everyone gets on their soapbox.
Or
They're
airline
so great.
pinch or anything like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just that seems
Or
to-
water in the air, or...
I never even considered that.
Well,
If you have a year-
if your pickup for your compressor picks up moisture, as you hit a puddle or something with a little bit of speed, too much speed,
Or you decide to sit in puddles
or
and spit axle seals, but Nick wouldn't know anything about that.
In all
no,
fair-
I don't know anything about that.
Once again, I gotta cut to a photo because I have a few of Nick just testing axle seals.
Yeah, that.
If only you had a 4-door!
Axle seals.
Yeah, that, just for the record, they failed.
Yeah, they failed. They don't.
Yeah.
JKs don't like that.
You know what? But in all fairness, too, it's like, fortune favors the brave in some cases.
In some cases, not in silty, gritty water.
Oh, it's like
Okay,
locking
but then there's
compound.
like there's a whole bravery thing. All right, let's just sit there and touch on that. Can we mention our friend Gary who decided to go play in a mud hole and what happened to him? Snap, bang! Yep, there goes.
I say, whoa, Gary!
Bang! Yep, there goes the shaft.
Well, that was because of the extra person.
That was because of the extra person.
Yeah.
That's a bit of an inside joke. We'll have to
I was going to say, like,
touch on that one.
the group chat today was on fire with that.
Absolutely.
And we're like, guys, people have feelings here.
It's okay, I don't have feelings.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm dead inside.
I'm dead inside.
No, but like, no, it's always, not always Gary, but we're picking on Gary a little bit. But in all fairness, too, like, he's not afraid to try things.
No, absolutely
And
not.
when you're running a big tire and you got a manual transmission, a short wheelbase Jeep, a Dana 35, like,
With fucking 37s.
you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And
I think Gary knows definitely when to hold him. That's,
he's call and he's all in.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Every single.
And then he's
every
driving
single time.
home in 4 high.
When he's sitting on the trailer and I'm driving him down Monday.
Yeah.
I'll see you Monday at work.
Cummins putting in work, eh?
Yeah, she worked a lot that one summer.
Yeah.
Not last summer, summer
It
before.
it would have been better for us to buy him CAA.
Yeah, it might have been.
Less fun, though.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I liked going down, seeing Happy and everything like that.
Yeah.
And, the kids loved going for rides in the truck. And
You like letting it eat on the 401.
there was a few times I said one day we'll have to spend a day and actually
We'll have to
do
go
a full-
through the truck someday.
We'll have to spend a day and sit down and talk about chips because she's a special girl. So,
Yeah.
but we should before we get off on another tangent, I need to hear about Willie.
Okay, so yeah, it's a 2016 Jeep JK 2-door Willys edition, 373 gears. With the Willys edition, you get the Rubicon suspension, the Rubicon rock rails, limited slip in the rear, no lockers. Because silly me, when I bought my Jeep, I'm like, I'll just put the lockers in.
But you did
So
buy
I
it new.
still I did buy it new, and I
That's
still
nice.
haven't put lockers in it.
It does great.
But it does great.
I was just saying, like
yeah.
you keep up with the 4-doors.
Yeah,
It's an extension.
well, see, I can beat the 4-doors because of my
Oh.
wheelbase. It's actually a Jeep, not a minivan.
But
But anyway, I digress.
Shot to the heart.
I digress. It's got a 2-inch lift, just a puck lift, 35-inch Maxxis Trepador radials. Thank you.
Which was a
great
heartbreak,
tire.
right?
It's a heartbreak. They're a great tire on the rock.
Interesting in snow.
Interesting in snow. Well, not snow so much, more
Ice. Yeah.
Yeah, they're interesting in that, but it's not my daily, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, the road manners are not great, and they run small. So if anybody is looking at Trepador radials, just FYI, 35 is more like a 33.
Yeah.
Sorry. But anyways, what else do I got? It's just, I don't have a lot done to the Jeep, really. I got a winch on it.
You don't have a lot into her, but I mean, like,
No.
she,
I've wheeled it hard. I probably should have invested in skid plates, like, years ago. Because
I really wish you could have gotten the gas tank skid plate that I got.
Yeah, every single cross member that I have is no longer straight.
Yeah.
My exhaust hits the one cross member, and it sounds like I'm throwing a rod, but it's a little disconcerting sometimes, and people look at me funny on occasion.
I would say not necessarily delicately send, but like it is an extension of yourself.
Yeah,
you do have a little bit of aggression on the.
No, I got to overcome not having lockers and not having a big lift. Like it's.
Yeah.
But you're not shy. You go down on air pressure.
Yeah.
And you choose your moments.
Yeah.
And combination of, like, you know, the odd person having a bit of a spot and you having a little bit of ambition, like you've put it some places.
Yeah, like it's not, I'm not, I don't know, I'd like to think I know when to send it. I, knock on wood, haven't broken an axle or been stranded on the trail yet. Although saying that, the summer is going to be the summer.
I can't wait!
It's got the 3.6 in it, and it's got the famous Pentastar Orchestra singing away with the misfire on cylinder number 2.
Occasionally she sounds like you have, like, some sockets just dropped in there rattling around, and I'm like, oh god, it's happening.
Those were the 10 mils, that's where they went.
Yeah.
The 3/16
It's
to
got
10
an
mils.
occasional hard start whenever it's warm, but it's still going as long as my young lad doesn't blow it up. We'll keep going. It's got almost 200,000 K on it, and and about 120 of that's been with the cylinder misfire on it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So how much does the new one have for K?
What's over there?
The V-dub.
Oh, 280.
Oh wow! I was just about to say, I think every vehicle we own is over 300, but no, we're just shy at 280.
Yeah.
So.
Fresh.
I was just saying, yours is a baby.
Yeah, I know. Mine's a baby compared to Cheryl's DJ.
Right?
Yeah.
Like.
It's 300?
200 and some, just over 200.
Wow, it's like new.
Yep.
So let's just say you have 3 and change on the Cherokee. I have 336. The car should be around 338, 340. The commuter.
That's 346.
Oh wow!
The big truck's 400. Cherokee's 370. Everything I have is junk.
It's not junk. It's not junk.
It runs.
Old vehicles don't die; they just get rebuilt. That's our motto here, and that's how we run things. So
yeah. So I don't know. Future plans for mine. It's when the motor goes, we'll see what's going on, and it might get a 5.3 and a 4L60.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know.
Awesome. Well, that transmission's durable.
Oh yeah. If it's not in a pickup truck, it's a good transmission.
They go.
Oh, you mean my Jeep transmission?
Yeah.
No, so I'd want the 4L60 so I can get rid of Chrysler's computer completely and just go with the GM computer and have standalone gauges and everything, so I don't have to pay whatever thousands of dollars it is for CAN bus to talk to the GM system.
Oh, an interpreter.
Yeah, that's where it gets pricey. Like you can get a swap harness for $500 if you're not trying to talk to Chrysler.
Well, look, if we want to do a transmission swap, we have to get a new computer, get it reflashed, whole wiring harness, everything. That's why one of the reasons why we haven't done a transmission swap in mine. From a standard, from an odd to a standard. Yeah,
exactly. And plus, with my transmission 3.6, it has that Mercedes 5-speed transmission in it, auto. I if I want a double or anything, or any gear reduction aside from in the axles, I got to go with the Atlas.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like yours, you got that whatever I forget what they call it, but it's just that piece that fits between the transfer case and the transmission.
That's genius.
Like, you got that. I don't have that option.
No, because yours is a rear-wheel drive transmission.
Yeah.
The 42RLE, they're like, ooh, yes.
But it's a solid transmission, though. From everything I hear, it's a pretty
42?
solid... No, mine.
I was going to say yours. Yeah, like the WAG.
Yeah, the WAG is pretty good.
No, the 42RLE would have been a bomb-proof in a neon.
Well, yeah. Whereas the WAG is bomb-proof in a Mercedes...
Turbo?
G-Wagon.
Yeah, but it is how would you say, like, it's locked in. Like, this is your options.
Yeah.
And take it or leave it.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, your overdrive. Like, that overdrive, and that's not crazy steep.
No.
So going down the road, you're pretty decent even with a set of 35s. So
even with 35s on the 373s, I'm still, 1,800, 2,000.
Yeah.
So,
Keeping up.
Yeah.
Whereas Sarah, you're just bumping down around like 1,500 RPM. It's just like, I'm looking for a downshift,
Oh, I know. One of the little side roads here on Logie, my Jeep will lock into overdrive.
Oh, yeah?
At like 60K.
At like 55K.
Oh,
and it will drag
dirty.
it down to about 800 RPM. And the Jeep fucking roars. She's like, God. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Stop
but think of
making
the
your
fuel
own...
mileage.
No. I just sit there. I'm like, stop making your own decisions. You don't know what you want. I've called her a senile old bat.
I do wonder, like, with the Jeep, because yours being the last year for that.
Yeah.
And you think, like, well, coming on 12 years old, right?
Yeah.
Like, you wonder what's in store for those. Like, is there still folks out there that are doing it? Still folks that are using it? Like, I've seen one that had 440,000 K, and the guy was trying to flog it. And I'm thinking, what is left of that drive line? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, good maintenance.
and Highway K.
And Highway K.
Yeah.
And you flog it a couple weekends a year.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
as
like,
bad.
because yours has had 35 since we got it. 35s, 373s, with like a 0.68 overdrive since 200,000 K.
Yep.
Half the year. Remember we did run...
Because she would have been running stock tires before then.
Yeah.
No, I think she ran the Ruby tires for a few winters.
Even still, though, stock size.
Yeah, it would have been 33s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was only...
Because with the JKs, the Rubies were a 265...
I
don't know.
know about
17?
that.
No, what I was saying is that when we ran those load range E Toy Open Countries down to Florida, going through the hills of Virginia, ooh.
Oh, she wasn't a happy girl.
What do you mean you got to drive your automatic with care?
You do have to drive her with care. That's why I don't let anybody drive her.
Yes.
It's a very, very small list.
All right. So, anyways, in the future of the podcast, it's what are we going to do with it? Well, yes, lots of editing.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of editing. I feel this is a good start to it.
This is probably going to be painful to get through, but
hopefully people stick with us so we can.
If somebody's still listening now, like they know what they're getting for the next one.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like,
I would love to cover
high quality content.
That's right.
The highest quality.
I like terms like honest content.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely honest content.
But in all fairness, I would love to see if we cover the trails we've ran and like how our Jeeps perform and
covering
bash and boast. Like,
a little bit of technical here and there. Maybe get into what's involved in a 1-ton swap and a JK.
Well, maybe talk more about your doubler. Like all that sort of stuff.
True. Yeah, we were supposed to talk about that. We never did. Yeah.
No, but even still, like if we get word to that, we have a couple of members with some really cool Jeeps. We have Greg with his the M38.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, Greg is a wealth full of knowledge. He'll be he's gonna be definitely amazing.
And I'd like to talk to him about old Toyotas too.
He has a thing for
and Land Cruisers.
He has a love for those.
I know we're a Jeep group, but I love me an old Land Cruiser.
We can have a Taco Tuesday. I feel like
we can have Taco Tuesday.
We can have Taco Tuesday periodically.
Tuesday.
I'm okay with a periodic Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
No, but
keep the taco people happy.
Keep the taco people happy.
Diesel Land Cruiser pickup, or sorry, FJ. What do they call that? BJ? No, FJ 45, right?
I don't know what.
I think it was.
I honestly don't know much about Yodas.
It's like a Nissan 5.9.
Yeah.
And
And we can get
Excuse me?
Gary up here talking about what he's doing with his.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's that whole thing when
Yeah.
that curtain's finally
When that
pulled
curtain's
back and
finally
we get
pulled
to
back and
see
we get the
what's
reveal
that.
to the world.
little teaser, eh?
But also his boss's brother has
Yeah.
that cool Jeep that was built in India
that was
with
really
the
cool.
Toyota diesel in it.
That was really cool.
That's
It gives you the look, eh? Like, if you
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
just the look and the feel, like, if
Yeah.
you're like a super parade
pretty sure
guy.
it's two-wheel drive, but
Okay,
it's,
so
it's still pretty cool though.
Yeah.
It
It's
is
still pretty
pretty
cool.
cool.
And I love the Indian flair on it too.
Right. So
Yeah, like the beep left and
yeah.
no, I think it's gonna be great. We're gonna have quite a few guest speakers
Yeah.
throughout this to bring them in and
Yeah.
talk about everything. And
And if they're no nervous, we'll just give them a little adult beverage.
absolutely, we're definitely into the adult beverages.
Maybe a hat.
as long
What
as
do
they
you-
have a ride home.
Exactly. So what are you drinking tonight?
I have a Summersby apple flavored cider.
Oh, nice.
Picked it up on the weekend for my wife, and I chose the wrong one, so I get to drink though.
Do you like it at least?
I do like it. I like
Okay.
cider.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you? What
I was
did you
going to say,
have?
my love, you'll have to go first, and I will grab the can.
Oh, okay. So I actually have a Moosehead Chalenda. It's lime and salt. It's not as bad as you think it is.
That's not saying a lot because I think it's pretty bad.
No, it actually. So he bought this and he bought a 6, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? he's like,
Commitment.
That is commitment.
it looks really good. I
So you
think
can
you're gonna
commit to
like
beer.
it. He can commit to beer. Can't commit to me. It's all right. But no, he
Maybe we should lay off on that.
Oh no, I bug him all the time.
Okay.
It's my right. It's 11 years. Come on.
We
get your
we
shit
can
together.
edit that out if we want to.
Blooper reel.
Yeah.
But no, lime and salt, and yeah, you had one, and I was like, ugh, okay, I'll try it. And now this is one of the ones that I drink regularly now, and you don't because it gave you really bad heartburn.
I'm a little delicate, yeah. Yeah, so, and mine's from this local brewery, Sawdust City. It was
Where are they out of?
so Gravenhurst, which is a little bit of a tour north for us, but
Yeah.
again, like I said, it's not quite as far north as yourself. But
No.
kind of not even halfway, eh?
No, Huntsville's halfway for me.
Well,
Back
And
to the farm.
Gravenhurst, about 15-20 minutes of more,
Yeah, it's a half hour.
All right.
Yeah, and anyhow, so it's a spring saison, so a little firm, 6.5%. But I must say, when I poured it had a nice big head on it, and it disappeared quickly, and it's crisp and smooth.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good. Saisons are usually pretty nice.
What?
I don't know if I've had a spring saison though.
I was gonna say, if I wasn't such an only child, I'd share, but
No, that's fine.
I'll share half.
No, you've already drank out of it.
I have another one.
No.
Cooties.
Yeah, we don't kiss here, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's it. And did we decide on this here?
I think we should go with
I think we should go with that. So the name of this podcast is going to be Wrong Side of the River. Oh,
Wrong Side of the River proudly presents.
yeah. And you can get a hold of us
Through our YouTube channel.
Through email, which Sarah's going to recite right now.
WSOTRjeeps@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram at Worcester Jeeps, as well as Facebook at Worcester Jeeps as well.
All right, everybody, wheel safe. Have a good week.
See you.
Bye.